La- Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome back to another season. I don't know if it's a season, but at least a show of Supernova Quarantine Session, Saturday Night Quarantine. How are we doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen? We have the spliff toting, dub rocking, bass playing, engineer making music man of the hour on the show. That is you, Victor. That's you.
Mr. Ranks, Mr.
Yes.
Ranks, you're too kind.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's really good to see you. It's really
Yes,
good to see you.
yes.
And I'm
Cheers,
gonna tell you,
boss.
cheers to you too, Victor.
Not water, not water.
No, this is wine, and this is not Kool-Aid, and that is
Right.
vodka. I have not seen you. I wanna say at least 20 years, right? About 20 years you departed from New York City. Maybe earlier than that.
Well, I kind of disappeared while I was still in New York. I kind of
Yeah.
disappeared because I started working for TV,
Oh,
composing and stuff. That was in '99.
okay.
But then I left in '02
Okay.
and been here ever since. So yeah, it's been a while, man. It's been too long.
So where are you?
Long.
I don't know if everybody knows where you are. Where are you right now?
São Paulo, Brazil.
Uh,
There are 20 million people
Yeah.
in this place.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of New York. I decided, like when I knew I wanted to leave New York. I knew I wanted to leave the States.
Yeah.
And I had my eyes on cities in Europe. But when Bucket from the Toasters asked, he said, I need a bass player in Brazil next week. It's like, I'm there. And this was in 1998. And I was like, wow. The downtown Sao Paulo reminds me of New York when Dinkins was the mayor. Before Rudy came in and fucked it all up. The 80s in New York, I thought were nice. I liked it. And it was the only city that I found as much diversity in the people as we have in New York. So it was an easy fit. And no snow. Doesn't get cold. Palm trees.
Yeah, it sounds like my kind of place.
It was easy.
I'm gonna go back a little bit more because maybe I'm not sure who knows you that's watching us right now. But for me, my introduction to you, my first introduction to you was when you were playing bass with the Scott Bros.
Yeah.
That's how I met you. And hands down, you were the most nicest person, calmest person. Like you just had a very cool aura about you. You're even down to your playing. Do you remember I always used to be like, yo, I need you in my band? Because I am a pilferer, I pilfer. So you
No, but like it's got to be said that when the Pilfers like appeared, it fucked everything up. It was like that was very special time, and it was probably the most creative thing to come out of those times because around then things were getting very. There were some like attempts at commercializing and there were things. There were people running after what they thought would sell, and I just felt like, all right, sure, it was ska, but it was rock, but it was the execution that made the Pilfers like, oh, I'm glad I'm here tonight,
Thank you.
Thank you, man. It was great.
I saw your work, and I was a fan immediately. I didn't know how I could get you into my circuit because I was like, I begged, and you just disappeared. So I mean, I'm not heartbroken. I'm not bitter, but you just disappeared, and you reemerged as this force. I mean, I hear about you to people that I've met from Brazil. They didn't even know I knew you. They're like, oh, do you know Victor Rice? Because I told them I do ska. I said, oh yeah, I know Victor Rice. So your name started to travel from there to here. I'm like, so what's Victor up to? Can you tell us what you've been up to for the past 20 years or so?
Wow. Okay.
Let's go there.
So one of the final straws, the straw that broke the camel's back for me was that I had been working for a couple of years for a studio doing television production. and I was composing, doing sound design, recording voiceover, mixing, mostly mixing. And I finally paid off my student loan. I finally like paid off my debts, and it was the first time in my life I had like a bank account and everything, and there was something in it, you know, and things got comfortable, but they were a little too stressed out. I don't know. It was like I had already discovered Brazil, and I was really like, you know, I want to get there. I want to get there. And I guess the straw that broke the camel's back was 9/11. We were all watching in the lobby because the studio was an entire floor of a building in Midtown. And we were all gathered around the big plasma screen and watching it all go down. And everyone's quiet until like noon. There's like nothing going on. When all of a sudden, I was the only one with a client that day. And she was like, so we going to work or not? I was like, I don't know. Are we? She's like, let's do something. I mean, what can we do? Let's work. Like, all right. Even the owner of the studio was like, dude, if you want me to take the session, it's cool. I understand. I was like, no, what the fuck's the difference? Let's work. And she was getting more and more annoyed as the day progressed. By about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when it was time for her to like hightail it home while I finished the project alone, which is what we do. She's like talking to the phone. She's like, the nanny went home to see her kids. The bridges are closed. She's not sure how she's going to get back. And then she slams, then she calls operations at NBC. She's like, oh, what's going on? No one's answering. No one's answering at NBC. She slams the phone. She's like, this whole day is so inconvenient. That's the word she used. And I'm thinking, inconvenient for you? What's the word for the survivors of 3,000 people we just watched die? You know, and I was like, I'm so fucking out of here. And then I kept it cool. I knew I had some other debts to pay. I stayed until February, paid everything off, gave notice, got the fuck out. Came here. I had nothing to do, but I had friends. I already had friends, and I found this place, and I lived here before it became my studio. And every 6 months, I went back to New York to work like an immigrant. You know, I had excellent contacts because my leaving this company was not a threat to them because I wasn't leaving for another company. I was just getting the fuck out, you know. And so they were like, yeah, well, whenever you're in New York, come work for us, you know. And that went on and on. So for about 6 years, I had work in New York, and I would come back and do it because I had nothing in Brazil. I wasn't here because I had something going on. I had nothing going on. I was happy. I was just fucking glad to be here, learning Portuguese, finding the reggae parties. Just, it was like, it was an amazing time. It was an amazing time for me. And it still is. But by 2010, I was no longer working for people in New York, and I was mostly working for people in Brazil. Once in a while, stuff coming in from Europe or the States and the ska thing, but no more TV. Like, I had already spent all the money I made from TV. I bought all this shit.
What you call it?
And brought it to New York and flew it back here, like personally, piece by piece, like up. You know, it's just completely.
Does it have a name?
The name of the building is famous here. It's called Copan, Copan. So I've called the studio Studio Copan. It's like the biggest residence in South America. It's very Blade Runner. It's very beautiful and postmodern or futuristic, post-apocalyptic fortress style of building. It's awesome.
Great.
And that's it. As of like, I'd say about 2010, I stopped renting studios to work. I had my place. I had my stuff. Stopped buying stuff. I got all the stuff I need, and I just make records too.
So
and I'm
you've been making records since you left, though, right?
I never stopped making records.
So
but it was for whom, right? Because I made a record for myself in 2002, and it was started in New York and finished in Sao Paulo. So it was like a real like transition. It tells the story of my, you know, it's an instrumental that tells my story of my move to Brazil. It's called In America. And then I did no record for 15 years. Like I didn't do my stuff. I immersed myself in other people's music, paying the bills, engineering, producing, paying the bills. And then finally I got into a place where I was like, I need to do my thing again. And that was like in 2017.
So you're back on the reggae scene though, almost mostly dub, right?
Oh yeah, like during all this time, I've been doing dubs, and the people that seek me out in Brazil are the reggae heads, are the ones that know, you know, like what I've been involved in, and they recognize my work.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of reggae heads coming at me from everywhere. But also there was something like there was some pop musician in Brazil that asked me to mix their record, and the assistant engineer was like, dude, from here on in, everyone's going to be calling you. It's not just going to be reggae heads. It's going to be like people, whatever. And you start, they're like, now they know you're open to anything. And that's it, man. When, as an engineer, I don't, it's funny what you said. You like you said when we met and we were hanging out, I was like the most tranquil, peaceful dude.
Yes, man.
In the crew. But that's because I was, when we met, I was in conservatory playing orchestral string bass, taking shit mega seriously, and everything I had to do with ska was for pleasure. And it wasn't like, for me, it was like my holiday. And then I had to make a decision when I got out of school. I was like, I choose the holiday, man. I got out of orchestral music. I got out of playing string bass, and I got out of like the playing other people's music thing. And I was like, no, fuck it. I'm having too much fun playing ska, you know.
So when you did, we're gonna go to some of your videos in a second, but you've got records here, foundation records here with Stubborn All Stars.
Yeah, excellent thing to happen, man. With Stubborn All Stars, because me and Jeff, we always related to each other because we were a little older than everyone else in what was becoming the scene. We're the same age, and we also both studied music, and we were both kind of like, he appreciated the musical bitch side of me, you know, like the one that was like, no, that shit's wrong, you know, and he was like, yeah, man, that shit's wrong. And so we had that, you know.
Okay, we're gonna run to a video. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. We're gonna run to one of your videos. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna come right back. Check out Stubborn All Stars. We're gonna play. Yeah, we're gonna play.
Awesome.
Oh, why we can't do? Okay. We're gonna play Stubborn All Stars. And we'll be right back. You know what? I'm gonna have a little sip of this wine. Cheers to my man.
All right.
I'm gonna see some of the comments too. I don't see any comments in front of me, but I'm gonna take a look at them.
Me neither.
And check out the videos, and we'll be right back. And I'll see if I can answer some of your questions. Cheers.
All right. Well, band who we're very happy to have on, they're going to be doing their song "Tin Spam" from their album "Open Season." Please welcome from New York City, the Stubborn All Stars.
How's it going?
Oh, they don't make them like they used to in this calling plastic time. Progressive and progressive, but it makes no sense to chase behind. No, they don't quite fit them like they used to. Things going by so fast. I like it slow and groovy. I like it built to last. And I'm talking about tin spam, caviar. What you eat is what you are. Cheap wine or champagne, as the same sugar cane. Never take time to discover your own desires. Race for the system to work you like. Go wood and puppet to feed their fires. Take dictation from the master's voice. No initiative, robot but your voice. Baby, take a risk, jump the track. Look ever forward, don't look back. It's just tin spam, caviar. What you eat is what you are. Cheap wine or champagne, aspartame, sugar cane. Oh, they don't make them like they used to in this old and plastic town. Progressive, progressive, but it makes no sense to chase out behind. No, they don't quite make them like they used to. Things going by so fast. I like it slow and groovy. I like it better to last. And I'm talking about tin spam, caviar. What you eat is what you are. Cheap wine or champagne, aspartame, sugar cane. It's just tin spam, caviar. See what you eat is what you are. Cheap wine or champagne, aspartame or sugar cane.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on the Supernova Saturday night quarantine sessions. I don't know if we're still quarantined anymore. We're kind of quarantined, but we're not really quarantined anymore, I don't think.
I'm quarantined.
You're quarantined? What's going on over there? You quarantined over there?
Man, I've been quarantined since 2018. I go from my house to my studio, and I go back. Me and my woman hang out with the cats, and then the next day we do it all over again.
Maybe you're in bliss. Maybe you're in bliss. You're not in quarantine.
It's been okay for me. You know what? It's interesting. I've watched during the quarantine. I've watched a lot of people become very creative, creating a lot of content. I see some people doing some amazing creations now that they have the time or whatever it is.
Yes.
But I noticed for me, I've seen more of an upsurge in working as an engineer. Because everyone wants their projects done, and everyone's starting to embrace the internet. And I'm down here with fiber optic, waiting for people to be like, "Yo, let's work." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here since 2002 saying let's work." You know, and now for me, like it's been ironically positive, but my creative flow has like all but stopped. Like
that's I'm
working. I think I miss touring because one of the side effects of touring, especially on the European continent, one of the side effects of touring is that I'm out of my domestic routine. And on my days off, I'm inspired to do a lot of writing. I hear a lot of things. I get inspired from the gigs, inspired from the positivity in the shows, and I start writing music. So I haven't been very productive creatively in quarantine. Like it's like almost a dry spell, but I'm working my ass off, and I'm totally grateful, totally lucky, totally privileged. Let's call it what it is.
True.
To be working and I already kind of isolated myself from the world before this all happened. So I'm good. I'm good too.
So is it rampant over there, or is it just like in certain sections you have COVID, or is it just like everywhere is? I mean, because we were restricted from moving. We couldn't even come out of our houses. Like for 3 months, we were locked. Like it was like we were in prison for like 3 months. I would walk on the streets at night or in the daytime, and there was no one on the street in Manhattan. No one. You could walk on 42nd Street, and there's no one there.
Well, I think what happened in New York is different than what happened in Sao Paulo, because we had some, like, they definitely called quarantine. They said stay home and, don't be out if you're not going somewhere. And that went on for maybe 3-4 weeks. Now it's relaxed. But what happened in New York was this, like, police angle of, like, wanting to flex. They wanted to flex their authority on the streets. So it became a totally different dynamic than just the pandemic. It was like, we're going to flex and you better whatever. And fucked up.
Yeah, we got that.
We didn't have that down here. But I mean, we both Brazil and the United States have clowns for presidents that their job is to make you so angry you forget about global warming. That's their job. To make you so angry that we never talk about how Goldman Sachs is printing our money since 2008. We never talk about the destruction of the planet. We never hold corporations to account because we're too busy being pissed off at the clown shit that Boris Johnson, Trump, Bolsonaro, like they were paid that they're doing their jobs. They're doing it well. Hats off, man, because that, they're serving their masters brilliantly, or their masters chose people who are naturals, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with that people are doing their jobs. This is their job, regardless to
Yeah,
what we
if
may
we
think
don't
of it.
understand the order, it's because we're not informed, you know.
Wow.
And it's painful to be intelligent and uninformed and know that the unintelligent and informed got the upper hand, and that's something we have to live with.
I wrote this new song, man. You got to hear it. It's called All Them I Try. I wrote it a long time ago, but it speaks to what you're saying. I just released this. Is some next thing. Sounds kind of like Pilvers, but it's me. Let me go into one quick thing. I started this thing and I didn't get into it, but I can talk to them at the end. You were working with the Stubborn All Stars and who else? Because I just seen that video there. You was really young. I couldn't even recognize that was Jeff. Like he was a slim young man, and Vic looked really Vic looked like a baby. So I don't know what year and what show was that. Where was that? It's like a TV show. It kind of looked like Mr. Rogers and shit.
Yeah, I forget the name of the show. But I think it was on Comedy Central or something, or the Comedy Channel, or something that like became whatever it is now.
Yeah.
The year was like 98, I think.
Yeah.
And it was definitely the year where I thought that people were trying to sell the ska. They were trying to commercialize it. They were trying to they thought there was a chance that this thing would make money. In my opinion, there weren't enough bands to back it up. Good bands.
You think so? Well, I thought in the 90s, we had like the best creative bands.
Agreed.
You understand what I'm saying? I like everyone had their own style.
Yeah.
Everyone had their own style. They sounded like themselves. They didn't sound like, oh, let me be a carbon copy of this band. Like everyone had their own thing that they was doing, and it was just like, that's it. This is New York sound. This is Pilfer sound. This is DC sound. This is Midwest sound. Everyone likes doing their own thing. I loved it, man. It was such a creative time to mix with these artists that were doing it like that, and it just inspired you to be even better, you know. Anyway, enough about me and my recollections.
That was us, man. That was a noise. Brazilians say "é nós." It's us. We're talking about
é nós.
É nós.
And say it again.
É nós.
É nós. That means that's us. I'm quick with accents and things like that. I just have to know it, repeat it a couple of times. É nós. That's us.
É nós.
É nós. Thank you. That's a little bit of Brazilian there, people. You got that? É nós. That means that's us. I'm flexing. So you got yourself spliff over there. I see you spliffed out. You're vodka'd out. Is it legal over there? It is.
It's tolerated. Finally, it's probably about as well tolerated as it is in New York or in the States. Yeah, not illegal to have, illegal to buy, illegal to sell. But if you already got it, there, you know. But I'm sorry to keep going heavy on this, like every time you give me a nice question, but I'm a white man. I don't have these problems. If somebody wants to mess with an African, they will say, do you got pot on you? And they'll turn it into a thing and blah, 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 blah. So who am I to say how it is? I don't know.
Oh, I see. I gotcha.
Yeah. I mean,
I got a question for you. It says a question for Victor. Will you do anything again with Rocka T? And that came from Lou Riddell.
I would love to work with Rocka T again. He and Agent J. I was in on it, but he and Agent J made the most of that little studio on 3rd Street, Virgin City. They took it to the limits. It was the Sergeant Pepper of the studio, and working with him is always energizing. He's got discipline, but he's laid back. You know, he's creative, but he's technically proficient. You know, it's like that. You know, he comes in, everyone wants to work like he works harder than anybody. So who are we to say about, or who are we to talk about 16-hour days when he's there for all of it, you know, right? So I love working with T.
Okay, I got another one here. It says, I want to know which project Rice worked on that is the most proud of because of them, because he has been involved with some heavies. So which is the project that you're most proud of because you've worked with some heavy hitters?
There
that
are
coming from Matt Wixton. Matt,
pick
up yourself, Matt. Sorry.
Who was that? Matt Wixton.
Matt Wixton, yeah.
All right. What's up, Matt? Dude, thanks for the question. That's a great question. All right. Oh, and I'm owing you an appearance on the podcast. I'm sorry for the Horn Pub delay I'm doing, and I'm sorry. Like you, JJ, Horn Pub is the name of the blog. I want to big them up. Is it Horn Pub? No, it turned
There's
into
Horn Pub. There's a Horn Pub. Yes, yeah.
Brilliant. Whoever did the design, the whole Pornhub bite was brilliant. Anyway, I will show up. Sorry, I'm late. All right, both projects that I think of immediately are had the Scatolites, okay. and one became the other because the first one was I was given tapes. You remember Shay?
Yeah, which one? I saw Shay 2 days ago.
Dude, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love, man. He is.
I love Shay.
He's been in my corner like the whole time.
Shay is in everyone's corner. That's Shay, man. Big up Shay Wanka.
Big up Shay V. So Shay asked me to mix this record with the Scatolites and Laurel Aiken that they made in England at the end of their tour together. The end of their European tour together, they made this record. I get it. The sessions are okay. Like, there's some strangeness about the sessions. But what really worried me was that the state of the tape itself was falling apart. We were mixing this at Coyote Studios. I said, look, I got to make decisions like faster without listening because every time we pass the tape, we lose pieces of the high end. Like every time we played the tape, there was gunk on the tape heads that we had to clean off, and all those gunks is high end. Like that's what was missing. Every time we played it, we lost high end with the clean tape machine. So I'm like, all right, I got to make decisions, dude. And so we did it. And there was one tune, I'm in the mood for Skia, simply because you're near me. And Brevin, the bass player.
Yeah, I remember Brevin, Lloyd Brevin.
Every last 4 bars of the bridge, he played a different harmony than the rest of the band. And I was like, dude, I don't know. I think I can't let this go. So I recorded, every time the bridge came in, I recorded myself playing bass, pretending to doing my Brevin imitation on a bass guitar. And for 4 bars, I printed the right, because I had played in wedding bands like a million times. No, I'm in the mood for love.
Yeah,
come on. So did it, fixed it, mixed it, and did the rest of the record. And there was a lot of physical repair to be done. Performances were cool, but there was a weird vibe. I found out later, doing a tour, I was in the Ska Jazz Ensemble, New York Ska Jazz, and we were backing up Laurel Aiken. And we're talking about that record. And I said, yeah, I mixed that. He goes, yeah, well, okay. I was like, yeah, it was. He's like, how was it? I was like, it wasn't easy, dude. And he's like, dude, we were fighting the whole time. There was problems. The last thing we wanted to do at the end of the tour was make a record. We were fighting the whole time. I was like, okay, not my problem. I don't want to know about it. And then I said there was one discrepancy that I could hear on the record, and then I had to fix it with myself. I'm in the mood for Skia. It's like, the last 4 bars of the bridge weren't right in the bass. He's like, dude, We fought about that for hours, all tour, all month, and then at the studio, it was a fight from the beginning between me and Brevit. I was like, he was wrong. Like, thank you. He's like so happy to hear he was like vindicated, right?
Yeah.
He was right. And he sang it even with him, and all I had to do was fix the bass. And it was like, whoa.
It sounds sweet.
So that's one. That's part one. Part two is because I did that, Shay called me in to play on Ball of Fire, the Skylights record, Ball of Fire. And I replaced about half the tracks.
Wow.
Because he knew I could do Brevet better than... I just did what he did, but he had lost his pitch hand. Yeah. But his right hand, his attack, I could never like emulate because he never lost that. It was something brilliant. The groove is his. And I did my best to imitate that with just like perfect little...
Did you do it with an upright or?
I used his bass.
You used his bass?
He left it in the studio. He was like, yeah, my roadie.
What?
He was like, yeah, my roadie come for that. He was gone.
What?
And they were like, come on in. And they called me in like in the middle of the night. They're like, he's done. He's done. His bass is still here. Come on down. Sony
Studios. My God.
It's like, for me, I was like, the rest of my life is going to be like this.
Any photos, any videos?
It was never like that. It was never again. No photos, like 96, like 98, around there, when shit was crazy. And I don't know if you ever went through this, but you ever like move up a level and you're like, now I'm here, now it's going to be like this all the time. And it's not. It's like, like I got to play bass with Desmond Decker. I was like on tour with Desmond Decker for 4 weeks. When I got that gig, I was like, oh, it's going to be like this all the time now. No, these are like the greatest
moments of your life. Yeah.
And at the time, I'm like, yeah, this is cool, man. This is like, this is what I'm here for.
That's what you're supposed to be doing.
And sometimes we forget to value.
I tell you what, though. But now, you see, after those guys have passed on and moved on, now we're those guys. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we put in our work. I remember my first like major tour was with the Scatterlights, Selector, Special Beat, English Beat, and the Toasters when I was in the Toasters, right? So now,
you put in time
these guys. Sorry?
You put in time before me. You were already doing it.
I've been putting in time. I don't know how much I think we're around the same thing. I think we're around.
I was doing time in conservatory.
But I mean, those people who were like the people of our time, who were the greatest, who still are. Some of them are still around. Those people will leave the legacy and leave the responsibility onto us. That's our job now. So it's our job now to bring up the younger ones and give them a life and a platform of their own. And I've seen you've been doing that. I gotta jump in there for 1 second. The band that you got, you've been doing a lot of dub stuff. Sorry, my ears are funny. You've been doing a lot of dub stuff, and one band in particular that I heard, like I interviewed them yesterday. You did their record, and that's the Love and Paupers out of DC. Crazy, dude. Crazy. I saw another dub band. I just saw them today on your page, but I just happened to hear that you did the Love and Paupers record. It was in an interview yesterday I did with them, and I was like, uh-oh. Vic knows.
Yeah,
it's like Vic knows.
Vic knows, he don't tell.
You're doing well, Vic.
But man, I have so much like interest. What's the word? Like ulterior motives.
Yeah.
When I think of the Loving Paupers, because I know Jorge,
yeah,
like from before that. And I knew he was a good songwriter. And I always liked what he did. And he always liked what I did. So I keep like bugging him, like, let me wait until I'm in town before you record the next one. You know, I don't like where the microphone was on the drum kit. Let me, you know, because my job has been to mix. But I've been invited to listen to the rehearsal tapes and say, you know, a couple of BPMs in this direction. You know, I've talked a lot with, you know, Curtis, the drummer, and I've talked a bunch about the approach and what I was looking to do in the mix, and I think I think sometimes he gets frustrated in the band, but he's so good, and then he hears the record, and then he's like, it is good, man. You know, and like, you know, he's somebody who's always on the fence about like.
I know Curtis very well. I know Curtis very well. We toured for like one summer with the Pieces down to Florida. We have history. We have good history.
I want to meet him.
But I know he's a good dude. He can be high strung. He can be high strung.
That's my people.
But that's a drummer. And that's why he bangs the crap out of those drums. He gets the sound. He's a strong dude, and he gets those sounds.
Oh yeah,
steady, steady dude. Oh, okay. I'm running up my mouth. We got 2 more videos to come, and we'll come back with Vic. Sorry about that, Vic.
Man. This is let's. I'm enjoying.
We're gonna go past the hour because I mean it says we got 9 more minutes. We're gonna go past that. We're gonna continue to talk.
I'm here for you, Mr. Ranx.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Ranx in the house. You remember TC?
Of course. Family!
Yes. Mr. Ranx in the house.
Family!
Definitely.
We're going to come right back here with more Mr. Victor Rice. We're going to watch some videos here. Hold tight. Lord of mercy.
Your mouth is dirty and you curse about a word. Hooligans, hooligans, make up your mind. Hooligans, hooligans, this is the time. Hooligans, hooligans, make up your mind. Whoa, mother been weeping. Whoa, we were no more strangers. We were more than friends. She bears. We were no more strangers. We were more than friends. Yet the battles were splintered all over the place. Hooligans, hooligans.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on the Saturday Night Quarantine Supernova sessions. I'm still trying to figure out if we are under quarantine. I don't think we're under quarantine anymore. I'm able to move about in New York City, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I've been to Connecticut several times. I've been out of state. Um, you know, I can take the trains. You just have to wear a mask now.
Smart.
Well, they say it's good. There's always some type of fiber that comes out of the damn mask. So I don't know how good it is, how bad it is, but I just make sure I protect myself and people around me. So you've done the Paupers. What other bands that you have you done that you're taking a look out for, that we should look out for?
Wow. It's hard for me to
because you could pinpoint the Paupers, right? The Loving Paupers.
Yeah.
And say that that's a great band. Is there any bands that you've worked with now that you think, we should listen to? Because I do another thing here besides Supernova. I play music in my car. I call it the car sessions.
Right. I'm familiar.
Okay, cool. So I need to know what music, because you are an engineer and a lot of people come through your studio. So what music musicians or music songwriter or singer or solo, who do you think I should look out for that I can start playing?
Excellent question.
All right. Thank you.
I'm going to try not to look at my hard drives for the last sessions. And
I'm under the influence.
there's one guy I really like in New Jersey.
Okay.
Alex T. He had a band called Kiwi. I released something on my label, Total Running Time, from his band. We work all the time. I'm really interested in his latest music because I think he's got something that will transcend genre. And that's what we're looking for. As musicians, we work inside a genre, but we want to create that song that transcends genre, that just spills over because it's so good, it's so right. Because the musicians got it right and the lyricist got it right. And
Alex T.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard that, ladies and gentlemen. I will be playing Alex T on Monday. I gotta find his music. You can send me some waves.
Yeah, man. I'll hook you up with anything.
Please, that's gonna be on Monday's car sessions.
I met him here in Sao Paulo.
No way.
And he speaks fluent Portuguese. He's like a capoeirista. He's
okay.
Does that like martial arts?
Yeah, yes.
Teaches it. He's like a martial artist, Brazilian martial artist. He's a Russian. He's a Russian that moved to the States. that became a martial artist in Brazil, and he's all of this. And he's too much. He's too much, man. Anyway,
can I tell you, there's somebody in New York that could be your brother or your little brother, and he looks like you. Like when I'm looking at you, I'm seeing such the resemblance of you and him.
Who?
Brett Tubin. Do you know Brett?
Oh, dude, totally. I get that.
He could be your brother. He could be your little brother.
I get that.
And he's nice like you. And he's an engineer, and he's a bass player. That's your twin over there. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I was living on Riverside Drive, 112th Street, graduated, living there, just woodshedding, playing bass 6 hours a day, blah, 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 giving lessons. And Brett showed up. And he, grokked what I was doing in 94 or something. He totally appreciated and got it. But it wasn't just the bass lesson. He kind of understood how to man, it's real. It's a real thing. How to position yourself, your posture in society, how you approach people, and why you approach people, and he got it. He fucking got it. He had like 2-3 lessons, and he was already sounding like me.
I'm ready. I'm God.
Ah, man, fuck off. Another one who like 2 or 3 sessions with me, and he's already like taking my jobs. It was Sheldon Gregg.
No.
That motherfucker is brilliant, beautiful cat. You know him. You know Sheldon.
I know the name. I think something happened the other
He's
day.
a monster of a bass player, man. He's like
they told me about Sheldon. That's right.
He's the bass player in Stubborn All Stars. When we talk about like, I was there from the beginning, but he was the one like who really got like in that last record we did. The only tunes I played were the ones on the string bass, and Sheldon covered the rest. He's one of those guys who took like 2 or 3 lessons from me and was like, got it. I got what I was here for, and fucking killed it, man. The dude kills it, man. When Sheldon Gregg plays with Eddie Ocampo, it's fucking magic. It's fucking man. When those 2 guys do it, and I'm like there watching, you know, but
that's how I saw you and Eddie. I saw you and Eddie like that.
Man, me and Eddie, man, it's like it's the best I got. It's like, you know,
I beg that guy too. I beg all you guys, man. Oh God,
like Asian J. He's like Asian J.
Asian J is another one. Asian J is incredible.
He's like, he knows what I want. He knows what I like. We both like the same thing. We both been through the same shit. Very particular micro shit, musically and technically, working it out at Version City. Jay, there's people like Jay, Dave Hahn. Dude, Matt Malice.
Malice.
Yes.
I know. Matt Malice. Matt Maliwa.
Can we talk about Dub 56 now? Can we talk 56 now? Can we talk about Dub 56 now? For me, the best incarnation of the Toasters. Mind you, I did not know the Toasters before that whole bullshit with the label that took the singers.
Oh, yes.
Can you talk about that? Because
I came in right after they did. I came in because I was able to get into the Toasters because those guys left.
So can you tell us, millions of people right now online?
Okay.
Tell me what was the Toasters before that? Like what happened?
The Toasters was established before myself. Those 2 guys became a thing. The record company came after them, yanked them out. Yes, they became a group called Unity 3.
Right.
So they were signed to, I think it was one of those major labels, and they were put out to go do their own thing. So Toasters were absent of a front guy. They brought myself in and another guy to do this Unity 2 thing, but I could manage everybody's part. So, and the guy wasn't really sure. He wasn't stable, right? He wasn't really ready for that, right? So I took the rapper, I took the DJ, and I took the singer's part. So one man took all of those people's part, and that's how I came on the scene like that with my introduction with the Toasters, which was like 89. 89 was my first stint.
I can say from my perspective, in what you just said, like now that I got it straight, I already understood what this did to Bucket. I already understood that he would never trust another record label again, ever. And that he had to do his own thing. And in doing that, he became a Duke Reed, Coxsone Dodd, like fucking, it's under my control, motherfucker. That part I already understood. But now I'm understanding that, like, in a sense, his dedication to making it go on, and you're getting in the band, saved it.
Well, I think
because
it saved me too.
Unity whatever lasted 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And the Toasters is still around now. And a lot of that is based on your time with the Toasters. I'm just saying that because there was a very influential band. They had a huge. I know that the Pilfers didn't get a chance to make the reach. But think about what Bucket did, and he was like, "Yeah, we're going to Macedonia." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "With who?" He's like with whoever puts up with it, man. In that way, he was like Chuck Berry of Chuck Berry and Ska. He goes with other bands are there, and he spread that shit.
Yeah,
does whatever what I'm saying.
Absolutely. You have to give him a lot of credit for the endurance. This man,
for real to pull
like seriously. He took like a lot of bands who were like garage bands, right? Garage bands playing in their house, and gave them a platform, which was Moon Records. If not for the Toasters, there would be no Dancehall Crashes as we know it, because he brought them through the front. Pie Tasters, Memphis Scaffleys, and the Scarflaws.
Yeah.
So he took all of us out of that. I was in the hood. I'm sorry?
I know directly what he did, man.
You know what I mean? So I regardless to whatever anybody says, this man, he did a lot.
Yeah.
So enough respect to Buck. Anyway, you at Buck, salute me, Captain.
Yeah, man. Every time. Valeu, boss. Valeu.
Every time. How you say that? What? What's that?
Valeu. Valeu is a great Brazilian phrase.
Yeah.
It means thanks, but literally it means was worth it, had value. It comes from the verb valer, which means to value, and they say valeu. You hold the door from somebody, and they say valeu. It's because they're like, yeah, man, worth it, worth the effort. Thank you. Like as a way of saying thank you, less formally. Valeu. But depending on the intonation, because you're a singer and you know what I'm talking about, you're a musician.
Yes.
Depending on the intonation, it's like it says everything. So valeu. So you can say valeu, and that's a cold valeu.
Yeah.
That's a cold thank you. But you can say valeu, viu? Meu cara, vou te falar agora que valeu mesmo. Tipo,
that's a whole other thing. Yeah. Woo! She's saying what's worth it had value. So tonight, this is all y'all. Thank you, Annie. I'm reading some of your posts here. Thank you, Annie. James says big up to the Buck. Lou Rudell. That looks like Rebecca, but I'm not gonna say it's Rebecca. Lou Rudell, maybe that's her new cinnamon anonymous name. Big up. Let me read some of these posts here. MB, Mighty Boston's was my first show, but Toasters with Coolie was made me fall in love with Scott. Thank you, James. Above 99 South.
Very influential band.
Well, my friend, you are a very influential man. I see all the work you do, man, and I'd love to get over there. Just don't forget us over here. Or when you come to New York, just give me a shout because I'd love to work with you too.
You know, I came up to New York in March.
No way.
And I had to cut it short because of some flu business.
Thing called COVID.
I was there, and because I have a lot of family in New York.
Of course.
And, 5 brothers and sisters, 10 nieces and nephews, and now one. What would you call it? Nephew had a kid. What do you call it?
That's your nephew, grandnephew.
I'm a granduncle now.
Granduncle, yep.
Or a great uncle, or I'm a terrible uncle, but I'm an uncle.
Listen, there's a budding scene going on here in New York. They're doing a lot of lovers rock too. A lot of lovers rock is going on too, and we need you. We need you because we have people like the Love and Paupers in DC, and we have that here in New York. I'm trying to get her some music, and I'm gonna send her your way. She's a friend of mine. I'm sure you know Metro Styley, right?
Yeah.
Remember the singer? Grab her.
Yeah.
Grab her. Do some music with her. Do some music. She's got a unique voice. No one like that. I'm throwing it out there because I like what she does, and I think she needs some help.
Right. I remember that. I was there one time when she was doing a session. Metro Styley was doing a session at like, I don't know if it was Sony. I don't remember what studio, but Ernest Wrangler.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I was there, and she was there with a camera, like filming everybody.
Oh wow.
She's got footage that nobody's got.
Hey, I'm sure a lot of people have footage. Some people have some footage of mine, which I gave them access to do a documentary, and they just ran off with the footage. I swear. Back in the day stuff, like really nice stuff.
There was a guy. There was a guy that followed the whole stubborn Studio One, Version City, whole stubborn New York version of Studio One, Version City, like business. He was always there with a camera, and even today, he's like, it's like he never did anything with it. I hope he still has a hard drive. I hope he didn't lose all that
footage.
Yeah.
It's gold. It's priceless now.
I'd love to see it. He was there for a lot of shit. His name was Stash. Stash One. You remember this guy, Stash One?
Stash One.
White guy, black hair and goatee, goes with a camera, always kind of like up on everyone's shit. And he's like, "Who are you?" Like, Stash One, man.
Well, he's got the music. Maybe we have to search him on the videos. See if we can find him.
He's got incredible giga of footage. You know, when I think about people who were there and never put it out, I wasn't there to take pictures. I mean, you weren't there to take pictures. You were there to do your thing.
Right, exactly.
We work in sound. We weren't there to be like all clicky and imagey. Especially not in the studio. Maybe on stage. Sure, we put on a shirt. Yeah, we in your case, you put out like immensely. In my case, it was as a bass player, just put on a good shirt. It's like,
no, that's not true.
Show an effort. No. Musically, musically, we had our thing, but
dude, you had your thing, man. Definitely, you had your thing because when you play effortlessly, you was killing it. And you just rock a little bit. You had your cool step, and you would you would kill it. I was like, damn, that dude is so fucking cool. I was like, yeah. I was like, yo, my man. You always were a Mister, and you always like, yes, Mr. Ranx. I'm like, nah, dude, you Mr. Motherfucking Rights right here, sir. Word, Mr. Rice.
Respect. I mean,
every day, brother.
A lot of us, there was a lot of inspiration in our time together on the road.
Do you remember when we did a benefit show in Wetlands, and it was for Alex that passed away. He was in the Southern Republico, the Southern
Venezuela.
Yeah, he was not the Southern Republico, but it was. Damn, I forgot the name of his band, but we did a benefit because he passed away, and we on the stage we just improvised the whole song. I was like, yo, play this for me, and he was like, boom, 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 and then I said, yo, Sledge, come with this right here, boom, 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 boom. And we did a whole track live. Boom, we did a whole ska track live, never to be recorded. It was crazy.
I wish somebody had that, man. I do remember that moment.
That was crazy.
It was easy.
It was easy.
Of course. It was
like, yeah, this is what I do.
I'm like, of course it's that part.
There it is. He says de facto. That's it. Thanks, James. James from EST knows. De factos, right. Yes.
The bassy we were talking about, Brett Tubin.
There you go. Yes.
No. Brett Tubin is another cat. Brett.
Yes. Brett. He was in my band for a minute.
Yes. Brett. Because there's another famous Brett.
Yeah. But Brett was
Caldwell.
Curran. Brett Curran.
Brett Curran. Basie Brett Curran from the De Factos. Yes. That's where I met Jerica, and that's where.
Jerica.
This is interesting. You know who was in the De Factos for like a hot second was Gabe.
I remember Gabe
from the Daptones, who became, the Antibalas.
No way.
The Daptones, Gabe.
Yeah, I know of them.
Dapkins, Dave. He goes by Bosco Man, but his real name is Gabe Roth. That motherfucker knew before anybody what was going to work, and he went harder than anybody. Like, imagine Bucket, but also having like a serious like Beethoven fucking obsession with music and like musical. I don't want to say genius, genius, because he's kind of like the Quentin Tarantino of music producers. He like understood what worked in the 70s, and why the fuck wouldn't it work now if he did it right? And then we got Amy Winehouse, and we got Sharon Jones, and fucking the dude has all my respect, man. This guy has all my respect.
This is what I'm telling you. You've got that shit right there. I'm going to talk to you off the air because I don't want to give away all the secrets. You've got that shit right there, and I'm going to talk to you. Yeah, you've got it. You've got it right there where you're sitting right there. You got it. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut this short. I got to keep the secrets. I'm going to tell you what it is.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know, yeah.
And that's because I did a lot of work. And I had a lot of things to throw away from my upbringing. And I had to tear away a lot of fucking blinders. And I still do. It's my side gig.
But you got it right there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 20. We've actually gone over 20 minutes. It's okay. This has been a Saturday night edition of the Supernova Quarantine Sessions with our special guest, Victor Rice, musical genius, live in Brazil to New York City. This is crazy. See what the internet has done?
Loving it. I've been waiting for humanity to catch up to technology, and it took a fucking pandemic to do it, but here we are.
Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, cop everything that Victor Rice has made and learn. There's a new album out. What's the name of the album?
Drink. Easy Star Records.
See it there? You're already there. You know what I'm talking about. On Easy Star Records. And listen, we want to thank everyone that contributed to the Alpha Boys School Institute in Jamaica. We raised $13,000, which is crazy for that Supernova. Yes, we did it on this show here. We did a marathon.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, we did a marathon here a couple of months ago, and we raised $13,000, and we made a scholarship for a student in Jamaica. Crazy, we did that. Supernova, the audience did that, and all the bands contributed. So enough respect to all the bands. It was an international festival, from bands from Madagascar, from Indonesia, from Ireland, from Brazil, from South America. I think we had maybe one or two Canada. Yeah, we had Canada because we had Chris.
Beautiful. That's real.
It was 6 hours. Yeah, we did it. It was amazing, and everyone that is watching contributed to that. So I want to thank everyone that was watching and everyone who played and participated. Bought a shirt, dropped a dime, dropped a quarter, dropped the $2, dropped the $2.50, whatever, 100. Thank you all so much. We also want to shout out King Django, and we want to shout out Chuck Wren, who contributed a lot to the whole project, who gave merchandise and support to the show. We've got to shout out Johnny Bravo back there that's making it happen all the time. I also want to apologize to Johnny Bravo, but once again for being late for his show. I don't want any hard feelings. We had bands from Australia there too. I'm just gonna say that because you know what I'm saying. Johnny Bravo's been holding it down. Enough respect to the man behind the Wizard of Oz behind the screen here, and we want to shout out Tim and April for making all of this possible. I have been your host. My name is Coolie Ranx. Check me out on Monday and Friday on the car sessions, and I'll see you guys again. Thank you all so much. That has been the man they call Victor Rice, and he's got so much. This would never end if I don't stop. But we're gonna continue after all of this is over anyway, so you won't get to hear all of that. But thank you all so much, and have a splendid good night. Drink some wine, and so forth. Bye.